Hello, beautiful souls. My name is Jessie, and welcome back to another episode of Rewire to Inspire. This show where we'll dive into self-love, learn tangible ways to rewire the brain, and discovering your soul's purpose. The goal of Rewire to Inspire is to encourage listeners to begin doing the hard work, to get curious and open to maximizing your life. Our mindset shapes how we live. Depending on life events, traumas, and personal experiences, our mindsets are all vastly different. However, one thing we all have in common is the ability to rewire our mind, to change the narrative, and to pivot our lives. I hope you leave each episode with the belief that you are so worthy to live a life true to you. I look forward to chatting with you every single Tuesday and Thursday and helping you grow exponentially in all areas of your life. Without further ado, here's today's episode. Hello, beautiful souls, and welcome back to my podcast, Rewire to Inspire. I am your host, Jessie Brown, and I am thrilled to be jumping on the microphone with you all for episode number 116. If you missed Tuesday's episode, I definitely encourage you to go check it out. We shared all about how your past might be manipulating your present. It was a deep dive into some of my personal drama relationship experience and ways that my past was really coming out in present day relationships and how they were kind of manipulating each other in a way. So if you haven't checked out that episode, I definitely encourage you to. But without further ado, for today's episode, number 116, we are going to be chatting about 10 different ways to raise your frequency, your vibe, your energetic being for free. So I want you to take a moment to just ask yourself, what do those words really mean for me? What does the word frequency mean for me? What does the word vibe mean for me? Is this terminology or something that you are, knowledgeable with? Do you have awareness in this area? Have you ever brought awareness to what your frequency might be, what your vibe might be as a person? And the best way that I can put this is I want you to kind of think in your mind of all the folks that you know. Is there anyone that you can think of that anytime you're around them, you just feel like their energy is contagious? You almost feel like as soon as they walk in, the vibe of the room changes. And that could be both a positive thing or a negative thing, because the same can go in reverse, where we feel like once we get around a certain person, we feel like the energy is just sucked away from us. And we have to begin to be detectives for ourselves to identify what is our vibe, what are we putting out when we're going to different places, when we're around different people, and when we're by ourselves. So I've done an episode like this before, like way in the beginning of my podcast when I was still Tiny Talks, because this is a subject that I absolutely love to talk on. Because when we really think about ourselves as an energetic being, which we all are, everything on the face of the earth has an energy, it has a vibration. And I think a huge part of why this subject came up for me is because I've been seeing a lot of false claims about manifestation. And the thing about manifestation is, yes, a part of it is visualizing it in our mind. It is like getting a clear picture, putting all the details together. But the part that nobody really talks about is A, the work that you still have to be doing, but B, how we cannot attract things if we are not an energetic match for them. So if we are sitting down in the dumps, not doing the work, not taking action, really just self-deprecating, consuming toxic things in any way, shape, or form, and we are trying to attract our dream person, an abundance of money, our dream house, our dream car, whatever, it's not going to work. And then we often end up feeling like, well, why does everybody talk about this manifestation thing? Like, it doesn't even work. I don't understand. We can only attract what we become. We can only attract things in which that are the same energetic frequency that we are. And it was super, super cool. I have to just quickly share. Yesterday, I had just this clear visualization of, and I feel comfortable sharing it with you guys because I know deep in my heart this is what I'm playing for, but of building a house in the middle of the woods, a tiny home per se, and I just started really picturing for myself what that was going to look like, and I'll get back to the vibe in a minute of why that plays into this. And I was just closing my eyes and visualizing this house and thinking of what I'm going to hear, the birds chirping and hearing the wind and hearing the river and having trees surrounding me and what it's going to smell like and what it's going to look like, the type of people I'm going to allow over, where my garden's going to be, which direction the house is going to face. And I just started really tapping into this beautiful mindfulness practice of what it is that I'm trying to manifest into my life. And I know that in order to manifest that, again, A, I have to do the work, and B, I have to raise my vibe to that, raise my frequency to match what that represents. And I know that I'm very much on a clear path to get there, and I know that I'm doing the work every day to get there, which is why I feel comfortable sharing it with you guys. And a huge thing that came up was like money. You know, we always have money coming up as an excuse. And so I allowed myself to just have the permission to say, if money were not a factor, this is what I would be going for. This is the vibe, the feeling that I want to have. And I just kind of told myself, you know, money is going to find its way to me through opportunities, through hard work. And this morning, I went for a walk with Bailey, and I seen a quarter on the ground. And I kind of just walked past it at first, and then I was like, wait, like it's 25 cents. Like, why are we leaving it on the ground? Like, yes, it's only 25 cents, but just pick it up. And then I picked it up, and then I kept looking around, and there was another 25 cents. And then I looked, and there was a toonie, which if you don't know is $2. And then I looked again, and there was another toonie. And I was like, holy smokes, like, although it was only $4.50, I'm like, this is amazing. It just felt so good, and it amped me up so much to just know that, like, things can turn up unexpectedly when we're least working or looking for them, but we have to be just in that vibe of knowing that one day, eventually, through hard work and merit, we will get there. But almost a part of me knows that I wouldn't have found that if I would have been in a low vibe state. It wouldn't have turned up for me. It didn't feel coincidental. And yes, this is a large part of my S brain, my spiritual brain coming forward, but I do think that a lot of it has to do with my vibration lately and how high I've been vibing lately and just how good I've been feeling. And so I know that, again, I don't want to ever claim that manifestation is, oh, just think it and you can achieve it. No, you have to do hard work. You have to show up every single day. But it just makes life a little bit less pressure. It seems a little less heavy when we can just hold on to these visions and trust the process in a way. So without further ado, I want to chat to you guys about 10 things that we can do to raise our frequency. I also just want to share that it's important that we begin to ask ourselves, are we surrounding ourselves with the right things? Are we surrounding ourselves with the right persons, places, things, and ideas that are going to stem into all these other things that I'm going to share with you guys? And we also have to remember that it's okay and normal for our energy to fluctuate. If something really terrible or hard has happened for us, it would be unrealistic to think that we are just going to stay in a high state. The point of this episode is kind of like our window of tolerance that I've talked to you guys about. It's how much time are we spending in that low vibe area? Because sometimes we have to go there to heal and to feel our emotions. But if we are spending all of our life or too much time in that low energetic area, we are going to start to feel that, our body's going to feel that, and it's going to seem like nothing is working in our favor. And so just to provide some context, and I'll put a link below to a picture that really explains, and it kind of is a visual for our frequency, but I want you to almost think of it like an upside down triangle. So it's an upside down long triangle. And at the bottom, we have our lower vibration. So that is where we're going to find shame, we're going to find guilt, we're going to find fear, we're going to find anger, we're going to find grief and apathy. But then as we kind of climb the triangle, if you will, we're kind of going to get into more of pride and courage and willingness and acceptance. And then as we veer our way towards the top, which would be the super, super high vibe emotions, frequencies that we can be feeling, we're going to get into reason and love and joy and acceptance and peace and enlightenment. Very, very high vibing energies. And even if you just think about it, on a day that you're feeling a lot of love and joy and enlightenment, you're probably feeling pretty good, right? And it's like evident. People say, like, you know, you're glowing and you look so good and you look so happy. But on those days that we're feeling sad and fearful and angry, our vibe is typically, you know, we can feel that. Often our body communicates that by shutting down and by, you know, turning our shoulders inwards. We're kind of closed off. And so it really does make sense, no matter if you practice spirituality or not, we are all energetic beings. That is science, that is factual, that is not just, there's no religion that can explain that other than science, is that we are energetic beings. And so we need to know and identify and learn ways that we can raise our vibration. Because I think that when we are surrounded and surrounding ourselves with people who lower our vibe, we kind of stay stuck there. And I know that this is exactly how I felt for so long. I felt like I was more of that light in a way, but the people around me were just so daunting and negative and full of gossip and negative self-talk and negative talk about other people. And in those times, I felt like I didn't have a choice but to kind of join in. And I felt depleted every time I would leave hanging out with those people. And so now that I'm really by myself in my own energy, knowing that I am the only one that can manipulate it, I choose, and that's the key thing, is I choose to vibe high. I choose to be that light. And so that I can mirror that for other people and hopefully ricochet that. And that is always my goal when I jump on the microphone with you guys every single week, is to hopefully raise how you are feeling, to give you hope, to give you direction, to give you love and validation that you maybe have never gotten before. So without further ado, let's dive into some 10 different things that we can each do for free to raise our frequency. The first thing that we can do, and you guys are going to be like, oh my God, of course, that is to practice gratitude. You guys, I know I talk about this all the freaking time. I have my journal right here that I have been writing in for, I guess we just hit 30 days. So a month of consistently writing in here how I am feeling, what my emotions are that day, what my body is feeling that day, and what I'm grateful for. And this can take me anywhere from 30 seconds to 10 minutes, really depending on what I have time for and what I'm feeling on my heart and mind that day. And that's one of the amazing things about practicing gratitude, is that there's no right way to do it. There's no right way to practice gratitude. But one of the quickest ways that we can amp up and raise our vibration is to think of things that we're grateful for and to identify them. Say them out loud, write them on paper, say them in your mind, whatever it is that works for you. And start to almost associate certain things with practicing gratitude. I've shared this before. I started doing this every morning when I wake up. And so now when I open my eyes, the first thing my mind tells me is, what are we grateful for today? It's so subconscious now that it just happens without me even thinking about it. But that took me a while. I had to put sticky notes beside my bed for a while. My alarm would say, what are you grateful for? You know, I kind of started to rewire my brain in a way that as soon as we wake up, we lean into gratitude. Because it can be super easy to wake up and set the tone for our whole day if we've maybe woke up feeling, a little bit down, a little bit under the weather, woke up on the wrong side of the bed, whatever it is. But leaning into gratitude really is one of the quickest ways that we can raise our vibrations. So I encourage you to practice with me right now. Say 3 things in your head or out loud. If you're with someone, if you're, at home, whatever it is, just whisper to yourself 3 things you're grateful for. Bring those things into your consciousness and just notice how it feels. It should feel good. It should feel relaxing. It should feel inviting. And the thing is that one positive thought can really trickle into another one, the same as our negative thoughts like to be like little magnets for each other. Our positive thoughts can be the exact same. And so finding gratitude. Number 2, love. Love is one of the best things that we can do to raise our vibration and our frequency. And I know what you might be thinking, like, what if I'm not in a relationship? Hey, me either. That's okay. It doesn't mean that we can't practice love. Self-love, love for others, thinking about someone that we love and care about deeply. Oftentimes when I'm, feeling low in frequency, I'll think of a couple family members or friends that I really love. And I'll think about what I love about each and every one of them individually. Sometimes I'll send a text message or I'll call or I'll send a voice memo of just like, hey, I was thinking about you. Hey, I just want you to know I love you so much. Hey, I just want you to know that you make a big impact on my life and I'm so thankful to have you. Spreading love also to strangers, holding the door for someone. One thing I love to do is pay for the coffee of the person behind me. The amount of smiles that I have gotten and honks from people just for paying for their coffee is insane. I know exactly what it's like to not know where to turn, to feel alone, helpless, and stuck. My goal as a coach is to help clients from a trauma-informed perspective see your worth and develop self-belief so you may chase your dreams and trust your intuition to live the most aligned, fulfilling life possible. If you're looking to elevate your life to the next level but aren't sure where to start, I would absolutely love to connect. If you're feeling pulled or curious, please use the link in the show notes below to book your free call. I look forward to connecting and supporting you on your own unique journey. one small little act of kindness of showing love for another person outside of self or to self, whatever it is that you're needing, but specifically outwards is amazing, because whatever we put outwards will eventually come back to us in some way, shape, or form. I do truly believe that. But again, love, when I was going through that triangle, love is one of the highest states of frequency. And so if we're able to practice giving love often, we are going to naturally be in that higher vibe state. Number 3, which kind of ties into everything that I just shared, that is generosity. Anytime that we get, greedy, or we get selfish with things, or with money, with love, with attention, anytime we get greedy with things, it really lowers our vibration. And really the antidote to that feeling of being greedy is to give to other people. And so that could be giving words, that could be giving free coffee, that could be giving your time to volunteer, that could really be absolutely anything, donating something that's no longer serving you. See how you can help a neighbor, maybe it's taking out their garbage. Like, there's so many little things that we can do that do not cost money that can raise our vibe. But I promise you, giving and being generous in any way, shape, or form is like medicine to our hearts, to feel good, to find gratitude, to just find appreciation. Nothing feels better from my perspective than being able to put a smile on somebody else's face based on something that we did just out of the kindness of doing it. Oh my goodness. Should be called the Yawn Podcast. I swear to God. I think it's just because I'm always so in flow when I'm talking to you guys that my nervous system's like, we can relax and we can have fun. But generosity truly is one of the best ways that we can raise our frequency and raise our vibe and just feel really good. It feels really good to be able to put a smile on somebody else's face. What I was trying to say before I yawned is without expecting anything in return. That's really the key of being generous and being humble in that, is not expecting anything in return when you give something to somebody else. So that is number 3, generosity. Number 4, meditation and breath work. The reason I put this one on here is because meditation, mindfulness, breathwork, etc. can really calm down our nervous system, shutting off that sympathetic nervous system, turning on our parasympathetic nervous system, which once that happens, our mood will naturally improve, which will likely bring about more feelings of feeling at peace in our body, calm, which are higher vibe states than if we're in that stress response, feeling super stretched thin, feeling super overwhelmed. Being in that state of chronic stress for a long time not only is hard on our body physically, but it's also hard on our body mentally and energetically. So we have to be wary, if we are busy people, stressed out people, got a lot going on, that we take time to practice breath work and come back to our body so that we can keep going. I am somebody who has something on the calendar every single day, and that's how I choose to live my life. Sundays typically look a little bit different, but that is how I live my life. I am playing big. I'm choosing to do all this to become the best version of myself and to make a global impact. You guys already know that is my mission. But the thing is I have to remember through my breath work and through mindfulness to come back to my body. Because I know that if I'm hanging in that state of overwhelm and shame and fear and anger and whatever it is for too long, that's going to be detrimental. That's going to come out in my work. That's going to come out in, the vibe that I'm carrying as a person. And that's not going to attract the right person, the right, what's the word I'm thinking of? Opportunities? The right opportunities that I am seeking out of life. So whatever that is for you, but mindfulness and meditation is one of the best ways that we can, again, calm our nervous system so we can get back into that state of being conscious of what our vibe is. Number 5, and this one can be tricky, and I've chatted about this before, but it's forgiveness. Release, forgiveness, letting go is one of the best ways that we can detach ourselves from past experiences that might be pulling us down. I view anything that you haven't forgiven almost like an anchor that's kind of pulling you back. You try to go forward, but it's like, hey, get back here. You haven't forgiven us yet. We're still holding on to you. But once we're able to forgive self, forgive others, forgive experiences, forgive choices, whatever it is, and really sit with that, we're able to be free in a way. And I don't want you to forgive. If you're thinking of a situation, you're like, I don't forgive that person. Jessie, like, what are you saying? Forgiveness is really about ourselves. It's about what it can do for self, not about other people. We don't necessarily have to forgive them. We just have to forgive ourselves for being a part of a situation, for going through something, whatever it is uniquely to you. Forgiveness is really about allowing yourself the opportunity to heal and to give yourself that much deserved release that you are deserving. So forgiveness is a huge one that can allow us to just detach from past experiences that are kind of holding us back and allow us to leap forward towards a higher vibe. Number 6, and oh my God, this one's so true. Eating high vibe foods. You guys, the other night, I just decided I wanted to watch a movie and I wanted to eat some junk food. And so I did not, I went all out. I ate mini eggs. I ate some like different candies that I got when I was down in the States. I was just eating a bunch of different things. I kind of went a little crazy. And although in the moment it was freaking awesome, right? There's nothing better. The next morning, I was groggy. I was cranky. I was unmotivated. I didn't want to do anything. And I'm like, oh, this all makes sense now. Because think of those times where you nourish your body and, you're eating clean, you're eating green, you're eating organic, you're eating natural, you're eating local, you're just eating good feeling foods that sometimes you don't want to eat, but you'll thank yourself for eating them. Mentally, you just always feel so much better. And I almost love eating healthy in a way because it's like I did something I didn't want to do and I'm feeling good about it. That's the thing, is the things that we don't want to do, but we always feel better after we do them, are the things we need to do 90% of the time, aka working out, eating healthy, hydrating, etc., insert thing here. Eating high vibe foods is really, really good for the body because when we're eating toxic foods, our body has nothing to get off of that. There's no good energy to get off that. It can't store anything properly. It doesn't really give us anything. In a way, it actually sets us backwards. It makes us feel disgusting and our body almost doesn't recognize it. And so the better that we can take care of our gut, which is actually where most of our hormones, our happy hormones are created. It's not in our mind, it's in our gut. And so if we're eating foods that are not really good for us, guess what? Our emotions are going to feel that. And yes, it is okay sometimes to eat a bag of Doritos, eat some cookies, and watch a movie. Like, that is okay, right? But we have to monitor how much we're doing that and allocating how much it's making us feel after / the next day. Because I guarantee you there's never been a time where you ate McDonald's and you were like, I feel so good and refreshed. It's like, no, it doesn't happen. It feels good in the moment. It tastes good in the moment. But after, you're like, why did I do that? My family always says, I don't feel full, I just feel different. If that's your sentence after eating something, chances are it's probably not the best food for you. So eating mindfully and eating high vibe foods is going to be a game changer for raising your frequency. Number 7, get outside. Get outside. Get in the sun. Get around nature. Go in the wind. Go in the rain. Go in the snow. Go in the whatever insert thing here. Surround yourself with trees and with the grass and with mud and with rocks and with all things that have to do with nature. Nature in and of itself is one of the highest energetic things that there are. Think about it. It makes the most sense, right? Getting outside not only allows us to get out of distractions, it allows us to get vitamin D from the sun, it allows us to get fresh air, which is just amazing for our mind and for our soul. Grounding is also something I've chatted a lot about, going outside in your bare feet, feeling that energetic pull from the ground that kind of comes into our system and replenishes us. Getting outside is one of the best things that we can do. I was watching a video the other day and they said the 2 quickest ways to change a baby's mood if they're upset is to put them in water or to take them outside. Why? Because those are 2 high vibe frequency things that can kind of change our mindset quickly. And so getting outside is going to be a huge thing that can help to reset our nervous system and raise our vibration. Number 8, I chatted about this one a little bit about my own personal situation and experiences, but be sure that your relationships are high vibing. at least as much as possible. I know we can't control every relationship, especially if it's coworkers, if it's work, if it's whatever, insert thing here, family member that we don't really want to be around, but we have to. Be sure that your relationships are vibing high for the most part, or tailor your time accordingly to only spend a certain amount of time around people that diminish your frequency. We have to notice how we feel after hanging out with people. I've hung out with people, and after I feel on top of the world, I feel super excited, super aligned. And then there's other times where I'm like, I need to take a nap and like shut my brain off for a bit because I am depleted. We need to know who those people are, because what's happening is they are energetically taking our frequency, taking it and shutting it down in a way. Low vibe people are very, very good at that, even though this doesn't happen consciously. No one knows that this is happening, but it happens. Also, I didn't put this on my list, but I'm thinking of it now because I kind of mentioned it. Stop gossiping. Gossiping is one of the biggest killers of a strong and healthy frequency. Negative talk about other people is just, it's just not helpful. And yes, there's times that we need to vent and we need to get things off our chest. But if you are just ranting over and over and over again with everybody about everything and and everything is negative and everything sucks, it's like, what do you think that that's communicating to your mind? What type of vibe do you think that that's putting out? And so I have started to become really good at noticing every time I kind of slip into that, or I start saying something negative about someone else, my mind's like, this isn't helpful. This isn't doing anything helpful. And sometimes I'll say, I feel really bad saying this. I just need to say this to get off my chest with safe people. Because again, sometimes we need to just say things to get it off of our chest because it feels good and we need to just release. But if you are someone that is just gossiping all the time for the sake of gossiping, I promise you that is hurting your vibe as a person, and it is reiterating these experiences for you, because what we focus on is what we're going to see. So if we're just constantly focusing on the negative and reiterating the negative to our mind, that is what evidence we're going to see over and over again. So this really ties into noticing the relationships that you're with and that you're around, because if the people around you are the opposite of that and they are ambitious and they're building you up and they're talking about things you're passionate about and they're growth oriented, or they're into what you're into, you're going to feel really good. And those are the people that we need to surround ourselves with. Number 9, consume things that raise your vibe. So this could be movies, this could be books, this could be experiences, this could be things. Like, notice the things for you that are unique to you that raise your vibe. Maybe it's a movie that makes you feel really good. Maybe you're feeling a book that you feel super seen and heard in. Maybe it's going to see a therapist and expressing yourself. Maybe it's organizing your space. Like, identify the things and consume the things that uniquely raise your vibration, which brings me to number 10, which is do unique things that will make you happy. I really wanted to put just like a free one on here, like it's like in the middle of bingo and it's like the free one. It's like, this is the one that you get to choose. You get to choose what this thing is. We know the different things that will raise our frequency. It's because they're typically our passions. For me, whenever I am cleaning, organizing, doing something crafty, jumping on here, chatting with you guys, talking about mental health, doing a presentation, my vibe is so high. For other people, those things could sound excruciatingly boring, really hard, out of their comfort zone, or just like a hell no. But there's other things that people do that I would be like, hell no, right? And so this one is like, what are those things for you that you love to do? Your soul loves it. It craves it. It needs it. It's typically the things that our inner child loved to do or would have loved to do. And so figuring out what that is for you uniquely and trying to do it as much as possible. So I truly hope you guys enjoyed these 10/11. I guess I kind of threw in an extra one. Not really. It tied in a little bit with number 8. But I hope you guys enjoyed these things that can help to raise your frequency and your vibe. This is a game changer. Seriously, if you're at a point in your life where you're like, I don't know what's next, I don't know where to go, I'm lost, I don't know my purpose, I don't know my direction, start with your vibe as a person. Start with becoming the best version of yourself holistically as possible first. And then once we're more in that heightened headspace, we're able to attract those things and see opportunities differently. We might get clearer ideas. We might be pointed in a direction we never thought was possible, but we have to begin to notice where our frequency is, where we're hanging out, so we can raise that and get around people and things for ourselves that make us feel the best possible. So thank you guys so much as always. If you guys enjoyed today's episode, it would mean the absolute world to me if you guys could rate the show, leave a review, share it with someone you think would enjoy. Again, I've said this like 4 times today, but I am on a mission to make a global impact of how we view mental health, how we tend to ourselves, of knowing what it's like to be on the completely other side of this. And I hope that you guys know that even on here, when I'm talking about all these things, know that I literally started as pretty much far from the beginning as you guys can possibly imagine. This has come through massive work, massive pain, tears, exhaustion, confusion, all the things. And so I know exactly what it's like to struggle, and I still struggle very, very often. But I am on a mission to reframe how we tend to these things and how we view them. So leaving that review, rating the show, and sharing it seriously means the world to me and makes a huge, huge, huge impact. So thank you guys so much as always. All the love. I hope you're having an amazing, amazing April, and I look forward to chatting with you all next week. Bye, you guys. Thank you all so much for tuning into today's episode of Rewire to Inspire. I absolutely love connecting with you all, so make sure you're following me on Instagram. I am at Jessie Brown 13. If you enjoyed today's episode, please feel free to leave a review or share with someone you think would enjoy. I look forward to chatting with you all next episode. And remember, get out of your head and into your heart.